Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my Ark Survival Ascended content. So today I want to finish the Gacha Farm garden that I was going to create to make the plant species Y traps to use to help supplement the food for the gachas. I currently have been using stone and it's working just fine. I did pare it back, like you saw in the last video, to just two teams. One team over there, one team over there, spread about 10 to, I think 11 spaces apart. It says that 10 is the guaranteed distance apart to keep them happy, but I went ahead and went 11 just to be sure. Didn't want to take any chances. And then I'm using my dung beetles to pick up owl pellets and make fertilizer for the garden. The garden's going to be up there. I have a teleporter put in place so that I can reach the garden easily. Got water up here, and then I've got all this room to be able to stack crop plots like right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, and just, you know, etc. Probably about 4 or 5 high, just whatever I can reach by looking at it while standing. That way I can get to each one, and then that'll probably be more than I want to manage anyway, because that'll require a lot of fertilizer and a lot of owl pellets and probably more work than I want it to be. So honestly, what I was thinking about doing is just making 4 crop plots right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the various different crops, because I just realized I'm not even growing crops anywhere. I used to have some crops growing and I had a whole fridge full of crops to use in my recipe, but I just looked the other day, and it's been a minute since I played because I didn't come back to this base until Extinction released. Been kind of had it in hibernation, and all of my crops in my fridge decayed. So I'm going to need to grow some more crops. So I'm going to put 4 stacked crop plots of the various different gardens. You know, the different vegetables that you can grow in Ark, the citronal, the saffroot, the carrots, and the corn. You know, I'm going to grow all 4 of those, and then I'll have this 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces stacked up 4 or 5 high of species Y trap, and I'll see how that goes and see if that's enough, see if it's sufficient to be able to cover my needs to help supplement the food for the gachas. Because gathering stone is good and it works okay, but it does require a little bit of work. I mean, I am using a really good donkey, and I'll show you that stats on that here in just a minute. But I've got, here is my storage area. I've got 47,000 stone right now. I get a lot of metal while I'm doing this, so I go ahead and throw the raw metal in here, and then I throw an indie forge down whenever I need to refine some of it into ingots. And then I've got, you know, a pretty good stack of ingots going right now that I'm just getting as part of the process, because I'm mainly after stone, but I'm getting good metal as well. And I get a lot of meat in the process too, because this donkey can kind of shred, because it's actually pretty powerful donkey. I got some really good breeding pair, and I get some really good stats on my donkey. I wish I could show you the stats before I leveled this one, but this was a baby that I just grew up from my main breeding pair, and I just pulled it out of cryo storage. I hadn't touched it in a long time, and I had 66 levels waiting to be put on this thing. So it's pretty powerful. I went ahead and put quite a bit of health on it because I have a lot of alphas around here, and I invariably get nailed by alphas when I'm out on this thing trying to get stone. So I wanted it to be able to survive an alpha attack or two, and donkeys are surprisingly strong, and they're very tanky. Obviously, everybody knows that. They're very tanky, and they can kill an alpha megalodon and an alpha mosa pretty easily. It just takes a while. You're going to sit there and have to chomp on it for about 3 or 4 minutes, but it will kill it, and it's usually in no danger of dying. I have a little bit of stamina on it because I don't like to sit there and stop and wait for stamina refill all the time, and then the majority of my stats went into weight, obviously. I did put a few into melee damage so that I could hit rocks and get better harvest, and then also in case I need to fight to survive, I wanted it to have a little punch to be able to pack a little punch there, and it does. So, but weight is where the majority of the stats went. Probably about 30 of the levels went into weight, 30 to 35. It's at 8,598 weight, but with the weight reduction on a donkey, that kind of pretty much gets me to black box status. Whenever I get to black box status, I just about don't have my weight maxed out, so I really don't need to put any more levels into weight. Because when you're black boxed, you basically means you can't carry anymore because you've filled up all your available slots in your inventory. And we're talking about stacks of 100 stone, stacks of metal. A lot of times I'll throw the meat out so that I can get more stone, but when I'm black boxed, I'm just about right at 8,000 or so weight, so that works out really good. So there's really no point in me putting any more stat into weight because I can't carry it. I guess I could if I had more stacks of metal, but I'm not really after metal when I'm farming with this. I'm after stone, so stone is what I'm mainly carrying. A lot of times I've been guilty of throwing metal out to get more stone in, and that's sad that I would do that, but it is what it is. I'm after the stone because I want to feed my gacha and have them make element dust. Element dust, baby. That's where it's at. The health is really good, so I probably, if I have any more levels, which I do have one coming up soonish, it's going to be a tough choice for me whether it's going to be melee damage, stamina, or health. I'm not really sure where it's going to land. It's just, I'm going to have to feel this one out a little bit more and see. Probably won't worry about health, being I have a 124 max saddle on. So I probably won't worry about health anymore because with the combination of the health and the saddle, I'm good. There's really nothing out there one-on-one that can kill me. Even a level 150 Alpha Mosa I took down the other day, and it took me about 10 minutes, but I did it, and I wasn't even half health when I was done. So, and then I actually had a couple of Alpha Mosas on me at one time. I think the most I've had on me at once were 3, because the alphas just spawn like crazy out here on the center map, especially where I'm at. I think I had like a 40, a 90, and a 65 or something like that, but that's 3 alpha mosas beating on me at once. And I was a little nervous about that because I didn't want to lose my good donkey, my rock girl, but hey, she survived and she killed them all. It was pretty impressive, actually. Just takes forever. So I want to talk a little bit before I get started on the garden about the fits that I've been having with these gachas. Oh my God. I have been having nightmares trying to raise more gachas, and it's not until yesterday when I actually started crying in chat in the server about, oh my God, my gachas keep dying. What am I doing wrong? Because I have raised probably close to, I have tried to raise close to 20 gacha babies since I got these about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And then it has ended in death every single time, and I could not figure out what was going on. They're so hard to raise if you don't do it exactly right, and I finally, after talking to somebody in chat, I finally figured out what's going on. Oh, sorry, I had to get a drink. One of the things about the gacha babies, and you can see that I've got all 3 gestating right now. I'm having some more because I've just got to get some more babies so that I can try to get some more element dust gachas. I'm never going to get any more unless I can get lucky and breed some, and then just trying to get them to raise is a nightmare. I may have to break down and clone them. if I don't hurry up and get another one. And you know, I kind of thought about it, and I don't even really know why I'm so worried about it, because I have 2 female dust gotchas and 2 male dust gotchas right now, and that's enough for 2 solid teams of dust. So other than just having a couple for backups in case something happens and these die, would be smart probably to just put them up for backups just in case, because these were fairly expensive. They did cost me quite a bit. My trade for these was pretty heavy, and I did get some through breeding. I got lucky and got one through breeding right off the bat, and that was pure luck, because that probably will not happen again for hundreds of births. So that's why I'm, you know, desperate to get some more raised. I think it would be smart to have some as backup, because things happen, dinos die, servers go down, you know, and we never know when the servers are going to go down, and we never know when there's going to be an update that Microsoft can't access for weeks on time, you know, on end. That's happened to me quite a few times, and I've had dinos die in the process of trying to get back in the server, and that's kind of why I set up a Steam account, so that I could log in on one or the other to keep my stuff from decaying and dying, because there's been multiple times where they didn't get the update through certification in time, and Microsoft couldn't even access the new map drop for like 2 weeks when the center dropped, and it was like it's maybe more like a week and a half, but it was ridiculous. So I went ahead and set up a secondary Steam account. That way I have one on Steam and one on Xbox, or the Microsoft version, because I'm playing on PC. And that's helped me be able to make sure that I can get in game one way or another to keep my stuff alive. But some of the main things that's been happening to me when I try to raise the babies and they've been dying is I have had babies out and the server go down, and then by the time I got back in, the babies were dead. Because the thing with gacha babies is you have to have an active character in render distance while they're raising, or they will go into a stasis and they will starve. It doesn't matter if there's food nearby in a trough, they will starve and die. So one of the tricks to raising gachas, though, however, is that you don't even need to give them food when they're raising. As long as they are in render range of an active character, they will feed theirself, and their health will continue to go down and then pop back up and go down and pop back up throughout the whole raising cycle. So one of the things that I was doing that I couldn't figure out was that I was having them out, and then I was going and harvesting stone, and I would come back and they would be dead, and I would be like, what in the world is going on? You know, I left their inventory full of berries. I had them past 10% to where they were on the trough, and they were eating out of the trough. And then I did notice that they can deplete a trough fast when they're growing, because when they take a feed, they don't just feed like one berry at a time. They'll eat like half a stack at once when they do a feeding. And if you have multiple gachas raising, they will wreck you, or you wreck your feeding trough real quick. And so that's basically some of the tricks that I learned, that the gacha babies will raise themselves basically if you just keep them at a place to where they're out of trough range. They will pretty much raise their self, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to put anything in their inventory. You just have to be careful, though, that when you're around them, that you don't accidentally do a poop, because they will pick that poop up, and then that will cause them to go into a feeding mode, and they will stasis out and they will die. So you need to make sure that they're inventory is empty at all times when they're raising, and I think that in combination with having a character in render range will help me be able to actually get some raised. So I'll get back with you in another video later and let you know how that process goes. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and work on the garden. I'm gonna make those crop plots, and I'm gonna set them up, and I'm gonna get them growing, and I'm gonna take the ones that are on the roof and move them down to there and take the seeds out of them. And I think I've got just enough seeds now to where I can seed up a bunch of them. I think I've got like 30 or 40 seeds now, so that should be good. I'll start harvesting some more seeds today, and that should help me get that set up, because I'd like to get that garden thing off the roof. I don't really like the way that looks, but I do like the way this garden looks. I think it's kind of interesting. I've put greenhouse glass on the outside of the walls and the ceilings and the walls and the floors. So I'm thinking that will allow it to get 300% greenhouse growth percentage, even though it's inside and not outside. I think that will work. I'm anxious to see if that actually works and try that out. So I think that's pretty cool. Just kind of out of the way and very useful use of space, because I've got a lot of space up high that I really don't use, because I've never really wanted to have multiple floors. I like a base, and I know it's dumb because I could build something more fancy or whatever, but I just like a box base. I'm just not into creating some kind of architecturally magnificent structure or whatever. I'm more about function. So I've got a lot of space that I could use multiple levels, but I've just really never liked the multiple level thing. I want sunlight to be able to come through the roof like it is now, so that it's bright and I don't have to worry about lighting or anything like that. So I'm going to start to work on that garden, and I will get back with you in the next video and show you the progress on the growth on that, and let you know how they're going, and let you see if that's something that you possibly might want to do. Sadly, I cannot tell you where I got those species-wise seed, so I don't actually know if that's something that you can get on the center or the island, or I don't even know where I got them. And I'm sorry, I know that sounds dumb, but that's just, it is what it is. I just looked in my fridge and realized I had some, because I was actually talking in my first video about how I would like to be able to set up some plant species wide to hopefully try to see if I could grow some for my gacha. And then I realized I had some after the fact. So, but anyway, I'll bring you back. I'm going to have some babies born, going to have a garden going on, and we'll see how that works with the team. So thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and I hope you've liked this content. If you do, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or give me a comment in the comment section so we can talk about it. I'd like to be able to interact with you about this stuff and see what you think. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.